If one of your resolutions for 2008 is finding your dream job, by the way, that was my resolution back in 1997, and look at me now. Our next guest is just, that's true. Our next guest is just the person you're going to need to hear from. Cal State Fullerton professor Patty Malone teaches human communication. She's also a career coach. We're going to find out more about both. She joins us now to talk about some tips on how you can find your dream job. Thanks for joining us, Patty.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you on. A career coach. What does a career coach do?
Well, a career coach helps people figure out what they want to do in terms of a career and how to best go about pursuing that and getting it, how to prepare for the job interviews and how to get the jobs that they want.
So are there people out there who are in one job, say, and it's maybe not a good match, and they just don't know what they really should be doing according to what their personality is?
Yeah, exactly. You have certain skills and characteristics and accomplishments and things that you've done that are a good fit for something, but a lot of people don't know what that is, and they think they have to pigeonhole themselves into a particular job that already exists, but that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes you can kind of create your own job description.
How do you go about finding your dream job?
Well, there's several things you can do. The first thing that you need to do is you need to prepare really well ahead of time for the interview. You need to do homework on both the company and the position that you're interested in, and you can research them by going on websites, looking for annual reports, mission statements, etc. You also have to really research yourself. You have to know yourself really well, what your skills are, what your past job responsibilities have been, your strongest points, your strongest characteristics, what you're passionate about, and then how to line those up so that they both fit together. You find out what they're looking for, you look at their job descriptions, you look at the key buzzwords that they have in there, and you make sure that you use those when you're in the interview to describe yourself. You show how your characteristics fit exactly what they're looking for using the same words that they use.
And the internet is such a valuable tool now. I mean, back when I was looking for a job just out of college, we didn't have such a resource, and now you almost can't live without it in order to get a job.
Exactly.
You know, okay, let's talk about some of the most important points when you're going for your interview. We do have some bullet points that we want to make sure people are, you know, following along, understanding the preparation portion of it, as you mentioned, you know, getting on the internet, understanding what they want from an employee.
Yeah, that's very important. That's key. You need to know exactly what they're looking for so that you can match your skills. What you want to do is you actually want to come up with a 5-point agenda. You want to think about what are your most marketable skills. And that could include a wide variety of different types of things. It could be skills, it could be previous things that you've done. But you need to think of it in light of the job, that job description, and make sure that you keep reiterating those points throughout the course of the interview. Every question they ask you, they're basically asking you, why should we hire you? Why should we choose you over any of the other people that are applying for this job? So you need to make sure that everything that comes out of your mouth explains why you are the best fit for that job.
And you also stress that attitude is very important when you go to a job interview.
Yes, absolutely. You need to have a good attitude. You don't want to say negative things about past employers or past co-workers. It really just makes you look bad, and then they think they're going to do the same thing with them. So you don't want to do that. Plus, I think something that's really important is you want to be natural. You want to be yourself. You want to do the best you can to relax, even though it can be a little bit nerve-wracking when you're not used to it. But if you start putting on this other persona, I think some people do that. They get nervous and start thinking, oh, I have to act a certain way. That can interfere with the whole process. You really want to just be yourself.
Now, what about how do you address the questions they have for you, and then what should you be wanting to find out about them that you don't already know?
Okay, well, the questions that they're going to ask you, there's some pretty standard ones that you can count on. Things like, tell me about yourself, who was your worst supervisor, describe some challenging situation you faced in the past and what you did to overcome it. Actually, you need to think those things through. You kind of need to look back into your own past experience, and I would suggest actually writing those things out, having a basic little script with some bullet points, and then speak the answers out loud ahead of time. A lot of times we have answers planned in our head, but they don't come out sounding that way once you start talking. So you need to actually say it out loud, not memorize it. And with the questions for them, you need to have some prepared. First of all, it will make you look like you're more interested, you've taken the time to do the homework, but you don't want to ask questions that are either the me questions, like how soon do I get a promotion, how much money am I going to make, those types of questions, or questions where you can easily get the information like, oh, what services do you offer, or what products do you sell? Something that's on the front page of their website.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's an interesting point that you say, you know, what's in it for me if and when I do get this job. When is it ever appropriate to ask how much money are you going to be offering me?
Generally speaking, that's when you get further down the road, when you've been asked back for a couple of interviews and you're in the negotiation stage. However, you always want to let them bring it up first. You don't want to bring it up first, but you should have a really good idea going in there what the salary is.
Right.
And you can research that in numerous ways. There's a website, salary.com, and you can talk to people who've worked there, who've held that position or a similar position, and get some idea so you know the high and the low of the salary range before you start talking about it.
Before we let you go, though, we have to get to first and last impressions very quickly.
Okay. First and last impressions, you've got 30 seconds to make that first impression. So they can actually rule you out. You want to make sure that your appearance is good, your nonverbals are good, a good strong handshake, a good eye contact, smile, be friendly. And then when you leave, you want to let them know that you're really excited about the job, that you want that job. You actually need to ask them for the job. I'm really excited about this job, and I think I'd be a great fit for the company.
Very good.
I'd love to have it.
All right. We thank you for coming in, Patty. DrPattyMalone.com is the website. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Good to see you.